Before you give up on her, watch this. Powerful life lessons on love and relationships. Stoic happiness. Love is not about possession. Love is about appreciation. Osho. Before you decide to walk away, take a deep breath. Relationships are rarely simple, and love is a complex journey full of challenges and growth. When things feel distant, when communication becomes strained, it's easy to think it's the end. But what if, instead of giving up, you could turn the situation into an opportunity for growth, understanding, and connection? So before you give up, watch this video. Because if you apply what I'm about to tell you, you'll be in a position most men never reach. 1. Why she's pulling away in the first place. When a woman begins to pull away, many men instinctively panic, assuming she's lost interest, found someone else, or simply no longer cares. However, the reality is much deeper. A woman doesn't suddenly wake up one day and lose her feelings. Rather, it happens gradually and in stages. Initially, there was mystery, excitement, and a challenge. But over time, once she knows exactly how you feel, that thrill begins to fade, and she no longer feels the chase. At this point, she may start testing your emotional control. She wants to see how you handle emotional shifts, whether you panic, overreact, or stay unshaken. She needs space to reconnect with her emotions and feel attraction again. True attraction isn't built on constant reassurance or predictable behavior. It thrives in the tension and distance, the ebb and flow of emotions. This is where many men go wrong. Instead of pulling back and creating that space, they chase harder, texting more, calling more, and overcompensating. This only causes attraction to fade faster because now she doesn't have to put in the effort to earn your attention. As famous philosopher Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." Similarly, when a woman doesn't need to chase your attention, she no longer values it. Attraction requires effort, and when that effort is absent, the connection starts to wither. It's important to give her the space she needs to rediscover her feelings for you, while also learning to control your own emotional responses. Remember, in relationships, as in life, balance is key. Sometimes the best way to move forward is to let go, give space, and trust the process. 2. The silent test. You didn't even notice. In the intricate dance between men and women, there's a subtle and often unnoticed test that many men fail without realizing it. When a woman pulls away, it's not necessarily a deliberate attempt to distance herself. Rather, it's often an unconscious test of emotional strength. She's watching, wondering whether the man can handle the pressure, whether he'll chase after her, or whether he'll stay grounded. She's also questioning whether he has other options, or if he's merely pretending to be in control. The problem is, most men fail this test immediately. When she ignores them, they send another text. If she takes longer to respond, they ask if everything is okay. If she cancels plans, they scramble to reschedule. These actions only prove to her that she's the one in control of the situation. However, the men who truly stand out are the ones who do something different. They don't react emotionally. They don't chase, beg, or seek immediate answers. Instead, they hold their ground with calm confidence. This behavior doesn't go unnoticed. Over time, it begins to create a shift. She starts to feel something unexpected, regret. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This wisdom speaks volumes in relationships, especially when navigating challenges like these. So remember, it's not always about being the loudest or most persistent. Sometimes, true strength lies in knowing when to stand still. Do you agree with the above view? If yes, please comment yes. If not, please comment no. I look forward to hearing your views. 3. The power of controlled distance. Here's what most men don't realize. Women don't fall in love with presence. They fall in love with absence. The less you give away freely, the more valuable your time and attention become. Think about it like this. When a rare opportunity presents itself, it's cherished far more than something that is easily attainable. That's why pulling back at the right moment can have such an impact. Instead of always reaching out first with that text or message, take a step back and allow her to initiate. Don't feel compelled to like every post or update. Let her wonder if you're paying attention. The same goes for your time. Prioritize your goals, passions and ambitions over adjusting your schedule just to fit her needs. As the Roman philosopher Seneca said, "No man was ever wise by chance." This wisdom holds true in relationships as well. It's about being deliberate with your actions and responses. When you stop being predictable and stop responding immediately, she begins to notice the absence. The questions start to arise in her mind. Why isn't he reacting? Is he losing interest? Is there someone else? And in that moment of curiosity, she starts to miss you, because absence truly does make the heart grow fonder. So, don't be afraid to create space in the right moments. Give her the chance to appreciate your presence by taking a step back, and let her feel the void you've created. And remember, relationships require balance. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments section, because what works for one might offer insight to another. 4. What to do instead of chasing. Instead of constantly chasing, trying to fix a situation, or overexerting yourself in an attempt to win someone's attention, recognize the power of detachment. Many men mistakenly think that if they explain themselves enough, show how much they care, or plead for another chance, they can reignite the spark. However, attraction isn't something that can be forced. As the great Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." In relationships, this translates to understanding that forcing things is never the answer. Rather than chasing, match the energy of the other person. If she seems distant, don't overcompensate with actions or words. Instead, pull back and maintain neutrality. This approach not only shows maturity, but also respects the space needed to heal and reflect. Remember, when someone reaches out to you, respond, but be careful not to overinvest or become emotionally dependent on the situation. Sometimes, the most powerful decision you can make is to let things go and trust that what is meant for you will come in time. 5. If she never comes back, read this. Here's a hard truth that men must understand. Not every woman will come back, and you know what? That's perfectly okay. If she pulls away and doesn't return, she has essentially saved you from wasting any more of your precious time on someone who isn't the right fit for you. It's important to remember that love should never feel like a chase. As the legendary motivational speaker Denzel Washington once said, "Don't chase success, let success chase you." This applies to relationships too. You don't want to be in a situation where a woman only stays because you're constantly running after her. The true essence of a healthy relationship lies in mutual respect and choice. You deserve a partner who values you for who you are, Someone who stays not because they're being chased, but because they genuinely choose to be with you. Relationships built on such solid foundations are far more fulfilling and enduring. So, let go of the fear of losing someone who isn't meant for you. Embrace the opportunity to attract someone who truly appreciates your worth. Have you ever experienced something similar? Share your thoughts and reflections in the comments below. Let's learn from each other's journeys. 6. How to handle it when she comes back. When a woman comes back after disappearing for a while, many men make the common mistake of immediately jumping at the chance to reconnect. She might send a simple "hey" after days or even weeks of silence, and the temptation is strong to respond eagerly. But here's the thing, that's the wrong move. Instead, remain calm and composed. Don't treat her message like it's the highlight of your day. Stay in control of the situation and don't rush to give her your attention. Give her space and let her feel the absence, making her realize that your time and energy are valuable. By doing this, you establish boundaries and maintain your self-respect. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." When you don't immediately rush to meet her demands, you show that you're not easily manipulated, and she will come to respect you more. It's essential in any relationship, whether romantic or otherwise, to maintain a sense of self-worth and control. So the next time she reaches out unexpectedly, remember, don't jump at the chance. Make her work for it, and you'll find that she values you much more. 7. When your silence becomes unbearable for her. When she begins looking for you in other men, it reveals something deeply fascinating about human nature. The pursuit of something unattainable often drives people to seek fulfillment in places they don't understand. As soon as a woman realizes you're no longer reaching out, she may unconsciously attempt to fill that void by reconnecting with old flames, seeking attention from new faces, or even posting things online in hopes of provoking a reaction from you. However, no matter how hard she tries, none of these attempts will ever compare to what she once had with you. As she starts looking for you in others, the truth becomes clear. She begins to compare, and, in doing so, she always loses. The more she interacts with others, the more she can't help but think about you. You've transformed into a mystery, an unresolved question in her mind that she can't seem to shake. As the famous Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Her attempts to move on only lead her back to the realization that the more she tries to replace you, the deeper the void becomes. This is a lesson for all of us. Sometimes letting go of what we think we want allows us to discover something even better waiting for us. It's a reminder that closure often comes from within, not from the actions of others. So, for those of you going through this type of experience, remember that healing begins when we stop looking for answers outside of ourselves. Let it end, let it hurt, let it heal, and let it go. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever been in a situation like this? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. 8. The ultimate mindset shift. Here's a powerful mindset shift that every man needs to understand. Never position yourself as the man who is always available, always chasing. Instead, invest in your own life, your own priorities, and create space for yourself. By doing this, you allow her to miss you. When a woman feels like she has to earn your attention, It increases your value in her eyes, making you someone she has to work for. This is what creates lasting attraction. You don't win by chasing a woman. You win by becoming the man who never has to chase in the first place. By establishing standards, valuing your time, and making her prove she deserves your energy, you shift the dynamics of the relationship. That's when everything changes, because you are no longer trying to prove your worth. Instead, you are in control, not through manipulation or games, but through self-respect. And it is this self-respect that separates the men who are easily forgotten from those who become unforgettable. As the philosopher Epictetus said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." When you prioritize yourself, the shift in dynamic is powerful. And here's the thing. There comes a point when your silence is no longer just noticed, it's felt. Initially, she might have brushed it off, assuming you'd be back, that you'd eventually send a message and reconnect. But with time, she starts feeling something deeper. Your absence isn't just a minor inconvenience anymore, it's affecting her emotions. She checks her phone, hoping to see your name. She goes back through old conversations, trying to remember if there were signs she missed that showed you were slipping away. The longer it goes, the more she starts questioning herself. Did I push him too far? Was I wrong about him? Is he really gone for good? What most men fail to realize is that this isn't just about her missing you. It's about power. She starts to recognize that she no longer has the control she thought she did, and that uncertainty drives her wild. This is where the real magic happens. It's about creating that sense of mystery and maintaining your personal boundaries. By keeping your self-respect intact, you will make her value you in ways she hadn't before. It's not about playing games, but about having the strength to stand your ground. 9. The power of silence. Silence, often underestimated, holds immense power, especially in relationships. Many men fall into the trap of thinking they need to argue, justify themselves, or constantly fight for attention. Yet the truth is, silence speaks louder than any words ever could. At first, she may not even notice your absence. She might assume you'll reach out, just like always. But then time passes. Days turn into weeks, and something shifts. She begins to feel the void. The predictable pattern that once defined your interactions is no longer there. You've broken free from the expectation of constant contact, and this unexpected absence creates a gap that is impossible to ignore. As Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice." This shift in behavior, rooted in silence, forces her to confront a new reality, one that is no longer in her control. In real life, sometimes stepping back and letting space exist can bring clarity and respect, not only for the other person, but also for yourself. Silence doesn't mean weakness, it means strength. Letting go of the need to control every situation can bring peace and wisdom into your life. 10. When she starts looking for you in other men. When a woman begins seeking attention from other men, it's often a sign that she's searching to fill a void, a gap that is impossible to truly fill because it's rooted in something deeper. This psychological phenomenon, known as external seeking, arises when someone can't have what they desire and starts looking for it in places they know won't give them the same satisfaction. For women, if they sense distance or a lack of emotional connection from you, they may begin reaching out to past relationships or new faces, hoping for the attention and validation they're missing. But the reality is, no matter how much she tries, none of it will feel the same. As soon as she starts comparing, she's already lost. As the legendary philosopher Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." Similarly, when a woman tries to replace you, her mind can't escape the reality that no one else compares to you, and she finds herself constantly measuring others against the standard you've set. This cycle only deepens the emotional gap. She may attempt to fill that void with temporary distractions, posting things online hoping for your reaction, or even reconnecting with old flames, but it won't bring peace, only confusion. The more she strives to move on, the more she realizes that she's only making things harder on herself. Her feelings for you linger, unanswered and unresolved. It's essential for both men and women to recognize the importance of staying true to the connection they share, rather than allowing external forces to interfere. It's a lesson in emotional integrity and patience. If you've experienced this, share your thoughts in the comments. How did you handle a situation like this? 11. Why her ego won't let her admit she misses you. In life, we often experience moments where ego and emotion clash, especially in relationships. A woman may miss you deeply, but her ego prevents her from admitting it, causing her to struggle with her feelings. On one hand, she feels the emotional weight of the loss, the regret, and the longing for what once was. But on the other, her ego refuses to let her acknowledge that she could be wrong or vulnerable enough to express this. The ego is proud and defensive, making it hard for her to take the first step in owning her feelings. Instead of reaching out directly, she might send a casual text like, "Hey, hope you're doing well," hoping that you'll bite and restart the conversation. Or she might post on social media about how happy and carefree she is, hoping for your reaction, secretly longing for you to notice. But here's where the game becomes tricky. When you don't react, when you show no signs of being affected, that's when the real battle begins. Now, she has to confront a tough reality, whether you're truly over her or whether you've learned something many men never do: the power of detachment. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." In relationships, detachment is not about indifference. It's about understanding that you are not defined by the connection. The ability to let go without clinging is a sign of strength and self-respect. If you've reached this level, you're no longer attached to someone's validation. 12. Detachment, the ultimate power shift. Detachment. This is the game changer. It's the key moment that shatters her ego and flips the script. When you detach, she begins to realize something crucial. You were the prize all along. It's in that very moment that everything changes. Suddenly, she sees you for who you truly are, not just another man in her life, not someone she could drag along forever, and certainly not someone who will wait endlessly for her to make a decision. The hard truth is, she recognizes this only after it's too late. By then, you've transformed. You've grown into the man who no longer seeks validation from anyone, least of all her. You've built your own sense of value and confidence. You stand firm, knowing your worth. And now, as she watches you, she understands what you had known from the start. The real power never lay in her approval. It was in your ability to walk away without hesitation. This moment marks the shift in control. You hold the power now. As she grapples with the reality of losing you, she's left wondering if she'll ever get the chance to earn your respect again. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. This is your path, one of inner strength and self-respect. Your detachment isn't about cruelty, it's about preserving your own peace, your own dignity. It's a lesson for life. Never let anyone take you for granted. You deserve respect, and sometimes the only way to make them see that is to walk away. If you've been in this position or have thoughts on it, feel free to share your experiences in the comments below. What's your take on detachment as a powerful tool in relationships? 13. What to do when she comes back. When she comes back into your life, it's easy to fall into familiar patterns, but this is where most men make their mistake. Many rush to respond, act overly eager, and give her the validation she craved from the beginning. The problem with this is that once she receives that validation, she'll slip away again, leaving you in the same emotional turmoil. To break this cycle, you must approach the situation with calm strength and emotional control. Instead of rushing back in, take a step back and reflect on the past, acknowledging both the pain and the growth that has come from it. This is your opportunity to heal, to let go of old patterns and truly move forward, rather than simply reliving the past. The philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters," reminding us that our emotional responses are within our control. You must take charge of your emotions, understanding that true growth comes from letting go and not clinging to old wounds. So, when she reaches out again, don't play by the old rules. Respond with maturity, knowing your worth, and giving her the space to truly see your growth. 14. If she comes back, you must stay grounded. You must act like a man who isn't fazed by her return. Don't drop everything just because she texts you. Don't make her the center of your world just because she shows interest again. Don't fall back into the same patterns that made her take you for granted in the first place. Instead, let her work for it, because if she truly values you, she'll prove it, not with words, but with actions. And if she doesn't, then you've just won the game, because you finally realize you never needed her in the first place. Don't chase, level up. If she let you down, don't beg, don't chase, just level up. Focus on yourself, keep moving forward. Let your silence speak for you. Because at the end of the day, the men who win aren't the ones who chase. They're the ones who make women realize what they lost, when it's already too late. If you found value in this video, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more powerful insights. Check out the next one on the screen. It's exactly what you need to hear next.